We take it to Western Cape now, where the Cape Amalgamated Taxi Association is preventing people from loading private vehicles in Hout Bay. Cata only want their vehicles to transport people. MyCiti bus services have been suspended in the area. Taxi owners say the bus service is operating their routes and are demanding compensation. eNCA's Nobesuthu Hejana is covering that story for us and joins us now. Good morning, Nobesuthu. It seems a number of people are congregated there. What is the latest now?
Well, the people that you're seeing behind me, Mfundo, are the taxi drivers or the eNCA drivers that will soon be making their way to the city of Cape Town, where they'll be meeting with the MMC, Mr. Rob Quintus, with regards to a planned meeting that was held yesterday, so that they can further discuss some of the issues that these operators are complaining about. We do know that they were also talking about the issue of the permits that they've been applying with the city of Cape Town, but every time they do so, their permits are being refused. However, their vehicles are being impounded, so some of them can't afford to release their cars. But we also heard from the city of Cape Town, Mr. JP Smith, when he was addressing the issue in Nyanga about the reasons or some of the claims made by the taxi associations that they've not been getting those permits. He was saying that there was a provision that was made by the city of Cape Town as well as the provincial transport department to ensure that they have about 400 licenses that the people can apply for, but from that only 170 people made those applications. And currently in Nyanga, he did say that there's only 17 operators who have permits to be operating in that area. But when we spoke to the Cata in Nyanga, they did stress the issue that the city of Cape Town is not being honest with regards to them receiving the permits, accusing the city of only targeting the taxi industry in the Western Cape or in Cape Town in this particular point. But here in Hout Bay, we do know that the services of MyCiti bus have been suspended due to a protest that took place yesterday. And this morning, when we spoke to the leaders here, they did say that they will be preventing, even today, the MyCiti buses from entering the area of Imizamoyetu. They just want MyCiti buses to load and offload people in the area of Lindan. That's where the operators here will be transporting the passengers to that particular area. But what we've seen earlier, we did see that they were refusing private cars from loading people in the area, saying that only their vehicles will be doing such. And when we tried to speak to a number of people around here, I mean, most of them were not comfortable speaking close to where the operators are. In fact, we spoke to one lady who was telling me that she uses the MyCiti buses because the Amapelas don't necessarily go to areas like Sea Point and the waterfront. So she was saying that she had loaded her bus ticket for the entire month, and now she won't be going to work because she doesn't have cash to pay to the Amapelas in the area, and she's now forced to go back home because she thought the situation would be better today, but seemingly the Amapela operators or the eNCA drivers are not allowing the MyCiti buses to be entering the space. They're also citing the agreements or the promises that were made back in 2009 when the MyCiti buses were introduced in this particular area, saying that they had applied for permits, they have permits, but in some of the routes that the MyCiti buses is using where they used to operate, they no longer operate there, but they're still required to renew their permits, which is unfair. And that there were talks with the MyCiti bosses that they will be compensated for such loss, but that is not the case. And this morning we do know that they'll be heading to the city of Cape Town for that meeting to discuss some of their frustrations and a way forward with regards to what we're seeing here in Hout Bay.
So clearly a speedy resolution to this matter is needed, particularly in the interests of those ordinary citizens, the commuters who are innocent in this respect. But you're saying that the city maintains that that was not the agreement from the onset, that the MyCiti must be allowed to continue there.
Well, the city of Cape Town says that particular matter is in court, so at this stage they can't really talk about some of those agreements or promises made back in 2009. But it's also saying that many of the vehicles that have been impounded or taken off the road, it's because they are unroadworthy or their licenses have expired, or maybe the drivers are not paying some of their fines. So just to point out that the claims made by the drivers that they're only being targeted for the permits, it's unfair, but they need to look at the entire situation as to why the city is doing this, to ensure that the passengers also are safe or they're traveling with roadworthy vehicles on the roads. But it's something that the Taxi Association Cata is refusing and saying that it's not true. They're just being targeted, and they are citing that the MMC for Safety and Security in the city of Cape Town, Mr. J.P. Smith, is very arrogant when he deals with such issues. And in fact, they want to have a round table meeting with him to discuss a way forward, because they were also addressing the point that whenever there are these roadblocks, the city does not really consult with the associations to say this is what we'll be doing and this is how we want to do or go about doing things. So they want the city to meet them halfway, but then the city says, well, we can't risk and having these vehicles on the road if they are not roadworthy. We also need to ensure that Cape Townians, the citizens, are safe on the roads if we're going to allow these vehicles to be operating on our roads. So it will be interesting to see the way forward or what will come out in that meeting, because we do know that the association, they did say that at around about 9:30 this morning, they're expecting those transport from the city of Cape Town to transport them to that meeting, where at around about 10 o'clock they will commence with that meeting to discuss a way forward and how the city can also meet them halfway with regards to some of the concerns and the frustrations that they have as the taxi industry here in Hout Bay.